All right, it's another episode of the Cedric Maxwell podcast. He is Cedric Maxwell. I am, of course, Josue Pavone. Max, we're gonna do. We'll call this the trip around the NBA, right? Like your broadcast partner likes to call it, where we talk about the other teams and what's going on around the league. 2 weeks into the regular season, and there's a lot going on, not only on the court but off the court. On the court, the Lakers still haven't won a game, right? They're 0-5. They're the only winless team around. Max, I know that's music to your ears, but
here's to you, Lakers. Here's to you.
So there's that, right? And we'll get into that, but there's also stuff going on off the court, and that's involving former Celtics point guard Kyrie Irving. Now, Kyrie shared a documentary from Amazon. He shared it on his IG story. Shout out to Bobby Manning, who actually sent it to me that night. And then the next morning, it was everywhere. It was the talk around the NBA. The documentary that he posted is called Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America. And he's causing a stir with this thing because there's been reports of hate speech, anti-Semitism that's been connected to this documentary. So, of course, that's got Kyrie's name involved and in the middle of everything. But, Max, I guess we could start there before we get into his reaction and how defensive he was about it when he was asked about it after Saturday's loss. But just to, we talked about it before we started recording. Him being questioned for these things is legitimate, though, right? I mean, we can start right there, because if someone shares something like that, you're going to get questions about it, regardless if you're a basketball player, if you're an actor, or whatever platform you stand on.
Yeah, you are, but it's a slippery slope. And I haven't read the book. I haven't seen the documentary, so I can't speak on that. But the words itself, the hate speech, anti-Semitism, I think that you look at Kyrie and say sometimes that is that slippery slope, because we are in America and you are able to give your opinion. Manny Maxwell, my father, who's in the military, almost died for that right to speak freely when he was in Vietnam. So if you can speak, as Kyrie has done, the other side of the coin is you have to be able to accept the criticism that comes along with it. Because if you're Kyrie Irving, you've opened up that Pandora's box. And it wasn't anybody but you that posted this with your name attached to it. Right. So you have to understand what's going to go, what's going to come with it. And this is on the heels of your guy. And I love to say this, yay, your guy, yay. And what he said and all right. all the criticism and the words he's used against Jews and all these other things, you can't, you can do it, but you don't want to put yourself in that position right now, especially if you're a public figure like Kyrie and all the things that are going around him.
Right. Because you don't know what the response is going to be, who you're going to offend. And I think that's why when he was asked about it and he was being very defensive about it, it's like, well, wait a minute, like you post something, you're going to get asked about it. And people are going to want a thorough explanation. And, shout out to ESPN's Nick Friedel, because I don't think he was even asking for a thorough explanation. I think he was just asking, what's the point of this? Or maybe not what's the point, but can you understand why people will connect you with anti-Semitism and hate speech if you post something like this? And of course, Kyrie didn't appreciate that. And he said that he can post whatever he wants and he doesn't need to answer to anyone. And he ended up walking away from the podium and repeatedly saying, let's move on. Let's talk about basketball. And that, what I put on my platform or whatever you put on your platform, whatever you spew out there, people, that doesn't mean that I'm representing this documentary. I'm just sharing it, or this is something that I decided to put on my platform, and I don't need to explain myself. That's just essentially what it sounded like. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it.
You can't piss in my face and tell me right now that it's raining. You can't do that. And essentially, that's what Kyrie has done. You cannot do that if you're Kyrie. And I like, the response also, maybe we can get our guy, Adam Kaufman, on it. Or, he just went that much further. He says, it's a shame right now. We continue to give an inflated sense of importance to Kyrie Irving. And this is the same Adam Kaufman who has, I guess, documented so much about who Kyrie Irving is and has grown up essentially knowing getting Kyrie Irving when he was a little boy to where he is now as a man. So he understands a lot more about Kyrie Irving. But man, it's just not a good time for anybody to go out and again, you have the right to say it. Mm. And I like how, I forgot who had this, but it might have been it was a comedian that said you got the right to drive a car with your damn feet. Don't mean it's a good idea. And that's the same thing that you look at and you're going, man, it's like at this particular point, Kyrie Irving, the way your team is playing and all the things are going around you. And I understand there are things that are bigger than basketball. I do. I really do. This is, as Kyrie Irving likes to say, it's just a game. Yes, it is. But your platform has allowed you the game you played has allowed you to be a public figure and have that kind of platform. So be ready to accept the criticism and the onslaught that comes along with it. I mean, the owner of the governor, of the Nets went that far.
I was going to say something about that. Yeah.
Look, we are not. Josue is his name. So he went that far to say, look, we are not going to use that kind of language.
Josue,
and then the commissioner of the NBA, he chimed in. It's like, man, I mean, what are we going to do now? Are we going to have a gag order? Because you can say essentially whatever you want to say. And just what you could say right now that it rained too many days and you would offend too many people. Or if you said the sun was up too many, everybody's going to have their opinion. They're going to be different sides. So it's a real slippery slope right now for the NBA. And it's a slippery slope right now for players that want to get out and exercise things about what their beliefs are.
Right. And Friday, that was a Friday that Josue, responded to all this. And he said, look, I want to sit down and make sure that he understands that this is hurtful for all of us. Right. And as a man of faith, it is wrong to promote hate based on race, ethnicity, or religion. He's spot on there. So
can I also say,
I'm just disappointed that Kyrie didn't have a better explanation.
Can I also say it's not the best financial move right now that you want to make if you're Kyrie Irving? If you're looking for an extension of your contract at $250 million, not a good time to get on that horse. Maybe, and I understand about principle, but man, that's just your timing sometimes is impeccable or shitty. And this way for him financially, I would say this would be a shitty opportunity for him to get out and voice his opinion about that particular subject right now.
I gotta agree with you on that one, Max. I gotta agree with you. That's not the move, and especially isn't the move when your team isn't winning, right? They got one win to their name right now. They're sitting last in the Eastern Conference, and of course, this is supposed to be the season where Durant and Kyrie show everyone what they're made of, right? There's no vaccine, no mandate. He's playing all these games.
Every deep playoff run starts with building an amazing team. Doing the same for your business doesn't take a room full of scouts. You just need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Don't spend hours on multiple job sites looking for candidates with the right skills when you can do it all with Indeed. Find top talent fast with Indeed's suite of powerful hiring tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. Hate waiting? Indeed's US data shows over 80% of Indeed employers find quality candidates whose resume on Indeed matches their job description the moment they sponsor a job. Something I love about Indeed is that it makes hiring all in one place so easy because of virtual interview, which is commonplace in today's society. Don't make your candidates jump through hoops. Indeed's virtual interview tool means there's nothing to download, just click and talk. With virtual interviews, Indeed saves time. You can message, schedule, and interview top talent all in one place. Indeed makes it easy to connect with your applicants. No need to install anything extra. Indeed's virtual interview tools works from your browser. Indeed saves you headaches. Interview virtually with no downloads, plugins, or purchases. You can do it all in one place with Indeed. After using Indeed's virtual interviews, most employers say that it saved them days of hiring time, according to Indeed Data US. On average, applicants who scored proficient or higher on their reliability assessments were twice as likely to be on time for work, according to Indeed Data US. Join over 3 million businesses worldwide using Indeed to hire great talent fast. Indeed knows you're growing your own business. You have to make every dollar count. That's why when you sponsor a job, you only pay for quality applications from resumes in our database matching your job description. Just go to Indeed.com/Maxwell. That's Indeed.com/Maxwell. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per applications, pricing not available for everyone. Needs a hire? You need Indeed.
Mm-hmm. And you think about it, he's done it. He's scored. He's been scoring. But man, that team right now is a train wreck. You know, he scored 37, Durant scored 30-something, and they still lost by 8 or 9 points.
Yeah,
and everybody right now is pointing right now to the whole nother side of it, Ben Simmons. It's just like, man, that is the ultimate. And you know, I know your mom probably looked at it back in the day. I know my mom and a bunch of people, but this is a soap opera. This is the soap opera that used to come on, the thing that I used to hate at 3:00 or when I got home from school. First thing I see was a soap opera on TV. Blam! Where the cartoons at? I want the cartoons. But this is a soap opera right now that we're seeing that is in Brooklyn. This is truly, people say a train wreck, or people can't, Josue has done many times before. When you're out on the Mass Pike and you see a wreck and you start rubbernecking, that this is what it's like. You can't. You're supposed to keep driving, but you can't turn away. This is what
traffic starts.
This team is doing. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. You know, man, that soap opera line just got me thinking of got a flashback of my mom watching those novellas back in the day. Man, they were in Spanish. Man, the commercial break would happen. And you could hear her run into the kitchen, finishing up whatever she was cooking up and running right back. This is before on demand, guys. You couldn't pause the television, right? You had about 3.5 minutes to go check on the rice and then go back.
That is such a great example, though. But we've seen, and for a while, like I said, I live in a different era. When my era, the first little soap opera which came on, the kids just was this thing called Dark Shadows. And it was about a vampire who was like killing people, but somehow they made it a daytime soap opera. And then it went to Days of My Lives. And Days of My Lives, and As the World Turns, and on and on and on. So it was so many things. And now I don't even know what's going on now, but this is a real life soap opera that we're viewing that's going on in Brooklyn. Then the soap opera, you go from there. Then go out on the West Coast, soap opera there.
Oh, man.
And I got to ask you about, because I got to put you on point about your guy, Ye. Well, what in the hell is going on with him? I know it's not basketball, but I know that's one of your favorite slash rappers, designers, whatever ever he's doing.
One of my favorite rappers for sure. One of my favorite, probably one of my most influential rappers, honestly, if I'm really being honest here. Someone I've been listening to since I was in high school, man. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. You know what? I was talking about this with my brother Joel the other day, and I was like, man, it's like, one of the unfortunate parts of growing up is seeing these guys, these heroes, if you will, right, musicians or whoever, guys that you follow, you're a fan of, their music speaks to you, it moves you, and you just you grow older and they just start acting out of character or just acting differently, and you're like, man,
can I use your word, Josue? Spazzing, yeah,
seriously. Just start spazzing out, and I'm like, man.
Yeah, but the thing I like about this, I like Trevor Noah. I think he's a comedian or whatever. But
he was spot on.
His response is probably the best one I heard about Kanye. And what he said, some guy just yelled out in his audience one day and said, "Why you got beef with Kanye?" And he said, he stopped this show. He said, "I don't have beef with Kanye." He said, first of all, I had to be a rapper to have beef with Kanye. I'm not a rapper. And then he went on to say how Kanye was brilliant. He talked about his songs and the lyrics he's had and the fashion design and all this stuff. But he says he feels sorry for Kanye because Kanye has often stated that, hey, I don't take my meds. And it seems like when he doesn't take his meds, it seems like he does get into a position where he starts to spaz. Yeah. I mean, the Black community saw it when he was talking about, said something about, was it slavery?
Oh, slavery was a choice.
Slavery was a damn choice.
Yeah.
Who the says something like that? I mean, that's insulting. That's insulting to a race of people that were victimized and the horrors that went along. You're gonna say it was a choice that they had? It's like that. That's just. It's first of all, it's crazy, and on top of it, it's disrespectful. Right. For Kanye to go out and say that. And Kanye should be made to go back and watch this movie, which is coming on right now, called about Emmett Till. And
I saw that. Yeah.
Well, I haven't even seen the movie, but
I saw the promotion. I didn't see the movie, but
I've read the book. I've read all these things and how he got lynched and tortured when he was in the South over something that happened with a white girl. And they beat his body up so badly that the undertaker said, "Okay, we're going to have a closed coffin," and the mom said, "No,
nope,
we're not. We're having a coffin to show the world what they did to my boy." And They had just his face was disfigured and all the things that go along, and it was just like, so for you to go out and say something like that as Kanye. That to me is just totally irresponsible.
No, it is. It is for sure. And that was 3-4 years ago. He lost a lot of his fan base based on that. And that's why it was no surprise to me that this week Jaylen Brown separated himself from Donda Sports. And I thought that was the right choice. I think right now you don't want to associate yourself with them whatsoever, even though he's technically, because this is the thing that people now know, but before they were a little confused about. It's not his agent. It's a marketing group, but obviously Jaylen believed in what he was doing. Obviously he was moved by the school, Donda Academy, which he still supports right now. He's trying to figure out a way to fix what's going on because their school year has been reportedly terminated. And Jaylen's like, well, wait a minute, because of what because of what Kanye's been saying, these kids don't get to finish school. They don't get to, get that scholarship or play in basketball or academics, everything. The whole entire school year, which just started about a month ago, has been terminated. So he's trying to fix things on that end. But I think separating himself from Kanye's, sports agency or sports marketing group was a good idea, though.
I think it's a brilliant idea at this time. Yeah. I don't think Kanye right now is poison. Almost everybody around him and everything he's touched so far has turned. Look what he did with Adidas. And look what happened with his fashion empire, his music catalog. I just saw the other day, I think it wasn't YouTube, but somebody took his whole catalog of music off of their server. Platform, and so you couldn't get his music anymore. So I think it could have been Spotify, it could have been one of those big companies like that. So for you to not recognize that, to see what is going on, it harps back again to me to what Trevor Noah said. He said, "Look, I feel sorry for Kanye." He said, and I'm one of those people that is willing to express that if I see somebody who I admire going down the wrong road, I'm going to express my opinion. And you don't have to like my opinion about it. But if I see him walking out in the middle of the street, I'm going to say, "Yo, man, Kanye, back up." And that's one of the things right now to me is absolutely been crazy about this whole Kanye thing and, how he's looked at it.
Absolutely. And these are the same questions that are being fired to Kyrie Irving right now, because again, it's in line with that sort of hate speech and what's been documented as anti-Semitism in those documentary or in that content that you're sharing. It looks like you're sponsoring this stuff, and that's the part that he hates. But it's like, well, the two go hand in hand, Kyrie. You're not going to just put something up on social media and expect people to not have questions about it, especially something that's as sensitive as that,
So now, when are we going to move on to my favorite topic right now?
I was just about to get there, man. 0-5 Lakers. LeBron James, Anthony Davis led Lakers.
Whoa. Excuse me.
Are not doing well.
No, not that. Let's use his real name. Let's use Charles Barkley. Street clothes. Somebody said the other day about a buddy of mine who's a huge Laker fan said, yeah,
the game.
Street clothes is in street clothes again. I mean, it speaks about Anthony Davis. And it's unfortunate, but man, that's just the volume and what they've done out there to that team. And LeBron James, his legacy is intact. But what's going on right now with him and the NBA and the Lakers at this time, I don't know how they're going to make a change. Now they could.
Yeah. Latest L came against the Timberwolves.
Yeah, they could, but they go right back home. Boy, how much pressure is going to be them at home versus Denver for their next game? That's going to be huge because if they start going south, man, them fans are going to turn on them. they gonna turn on them, boy. Ooh, man.
Is the Lakers organization taking LeBron James for granted?
No, I don't think they're taking his greatness for granted.
Right? But I don't think so either. Right.
But I think what they just overplayed their hand. And we've seen that before in many situations. They overplayed their hand in trying to get what they thought would be a quick fix. First, they got Anthony Davis, and you end up winning another championship. You can say that. Although you did in the bubble. But you did in the bubble.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens after that. And now all the talent, the Kyle Kuzmas that you lost in the world, the Brandon Ingrams that you lost. You just go down the line. The ball kid who was there. These are young, talented players right now who are on the verge of being all-stars or who are really good for their team.
Yeah.
And these were young, talented players that were playing with the Lakers. The Lakers were not satisfied with watching them grow. And all of a sudden they changed their hand, got Anthony Davis. Then they said, well, let's even go further. Let's go out and let's get, let's see what we can do with Westbrook.
Too much.
You bring him in. And the ugliest part about it is, as some Laker fans hope right now, that they're in line right now for the Frenchman. If they play poorly enough, they're saying, well, we could get him. Well, they can't. And the reason they can't, Laker fans understand me here, you can't get him because New Orleans has the ability this year to swap picks with you. Mm-hmm. Whatever pick you get, if it's better than New Orleans pick, New Orleans can take that pick. And that came when you got Anthony Davis and when you gave up Brandon Ingram and when you gave up the ball kid. That went along with that. So it's not going to be a quick fix, I don't think. I keep hearing, things about our good friend Terry Rozier possibly going down there. He could maybe change some of the things because he is a shooter. Do you think that they go even further, and grab a couple other people that I hear? I don't know, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be a quick fix right now.
Yeah, I'm with you, Max. I'm with you. But looking back in the last 3-4 years, mm-hmm. I don't think that the trading for Anthony Davis thing, I get it. Like, look, Jeannie Buss was under a lot of pressure, right? Between hiring Magic Johnson and just trying to get this team back to winning. And obviously, Kobe Bryant had retired and she's just trying to bridge the gap into the next generation. You got LeBron James. I get it. You want to team him up with someone like Anthony Davis. You win a championship. So looking back on it, you can't say, okay, well, they shouldn't have done that. But the Russell Westbrook move, that was too much. And I think that was, again, like LeBron wanting to do the big three formula, but not realizing that we've moved past that, right? This is a whole new generation of basketball, and you're not getting much, younger. So I just think that was not the move to make. That wasn't the guy. That wasn't the solution. And now it's blowing up in their face right now. And they just, I think the best course of action right now is just wait for these guys to get off contract, wait for these, deals to expire, and then just move on, go on from there. And I'm not trying to say that this year's a wash, but they're going to have to try to figure this thing out, because I don't think there's a quick fix in trying to make some sort of trade that's going to all of a sudden put this team back at the top. They're going to have to go through this the hard way, I think.
Yeah, they are. And I think you put on that the mileage, which is out there. I'm watching this, Josue. I'm sure here's a vision. My cousin right now, he's watching our podcast.
What's going on, man?
He is from Cleveland. And the thing I say when, him being from Cleveland, he had a chance really to see LeBron James kind of coming up and all the things that happened with LeBron. LeBron decided he wanted to be in LA. I'm cool with that. But you overplayed your hand if you're him, and you think about it, he had to probably sign off on all that to get Westbrook, to come in, because most of the decisions they've seemed like they've made, they've gone LeBron and said, how do you feel about it? So LeBron is just as much a fault as anybody else.
Is this a playoff team, Max, if you had to guess? I
don't think so. I don't think they are, man. I can't see them being a playoff team. They keep talking about play in. Well, this next couple of weeks is going to tell the story for me, because they could easily be 0-10. Easily. There's some teams out there. You're going home to play Denver, a team right now with Jokic, who's been playing well. You got New Orleans Pelicans coming in. You have Dallas. You have to play them. And we're not even talking about probably the Clippers again are going to be in there. Utah, who's been playing very well, is coming into your building. All hell could break loose.
It's supposed to be tanking. What's going on, Max? What's going on?
Danny's group hasn't done what Danny has some good marketing guys like that have come in and they flourish.
He's about to trade one of them if they keep winning, Max. He doesn't like this shit.
Danny gonna be like, Danny is about to go, whoa here. Now that would be one of the things, okay, you go out and get Westbrook and, put a torpedo and all of that, that maybe would work.
When you got the biggest prospect since LeBron James waiting for you, Danny's like, this is not the time to win, guys. What do we do?
But at the same time, here's the thing the Lakers are going to have to do. They're going to have to give up 2 picks. They're going to have to give up their future. I mean, you're already giving up part of it, but if you do that, they're talking about the picks in 25 and 28. And next time they have a first-round pick, it'll be down there in, 2030. By the time they get a first-round pick again. When
LeBron turns 50 or something.
Hopefully, and LeBron might still be held. Who knows? LeBron might still be trying to play. And, what he's been able to do. He's been very good at what he's done, scored the basketball, playing bully basketball, but it's not the LeBron James that we've grown to love. He's an older player right now, moving a little slower. But the biggest thing about it, people have to add this in. He has played 20 years in the NBA. But then you add the other side in it. They say he's played, I don't know how many minutes, but if you add those minutes in a playoff year, they're saying that's about another 5 years. So you're talking about a man who's been around 25 years of playing basketball in the NBA. And all I remember is one major injury early in his career. I think it was he broke his foot or did something like that.
Yeah. It's unbelievable, this run. But I don't think they're taking him for granted. I just think they just made a mistake with trading for Russell Westbrook, and they just have to see that through right now. I don't think there's a quick fix option for this team right now, for sure. But before we get out of here, Max, let me ask you about the Celtics defense. What's going on with this team, man? I mean, this is supposed to be the backbone of what we saw last year, and right now they're top 5, top 6, worst defensive numbers, the defensive efficiency right now. I know it's early, but it just isn't the character. This is really out of character for the Celtics. Giving up 120 points in 3 games, 3 of these 4 games. What do you think they need to do to clean this up? What's in the issue?
When you have the backbone of your defense being Marcus Smart, player of the year defensively, and the thing that you really miss, and not to your surprise because you're such a big fan, is Rob Williams. His ability to block shots and his ability to change what teams do coming towards the rim. Guys were looking over their shoulder because Rob Williams was always coming to block shots. Now that you don't have that in there, that ability to block shots, that other big to anchor what you've done, I think they become a lot more porous. And, guys are getting towards the rim when they want to. They're getting free jump shots when they want to. Not as much of a contest. And even in that, we talk about it, they could have easily been 5-0, considering the way they started out against Chicago, being up by 17, and then doing the same thing against Cleveland, going up by 15, 16 on them, and Cleveland just rolling them back in. So, they have some problems. They have some issues which they have to address if they're going to move forward.
Yeah, it's like deja vu right now, man. Remember last year around this time, giving up these 19-point leads, 17-point lead, getting out to in the first half, you're shooting like 70%, which isn't going to carry on throughout the game. But teams getting back into it as quickly as they've been, that's a sign of the defense, just giving up a lot, So we'll see how they clean that up.
There's always going to be a target on their back right now. Mind you, when you're a team right now that's been in the finals, and you won in the East, there are a lot of teams right now that are going to be hunting for you. And you're going to make their season by getting a win. So we'll see if they can straighten it out this evening going up against Washington.
Absolutely. Another good test for the Celtics at TD Garden. We'll respond to that. And, of course, the rest of the week, next week on the Cedric Maxwell podcast. That's going to do it for us. Subscribe if you haven't. Rate us on iTunes or wherever your favorite listening platform is. And we appreciate the love, guys.
Well, what do we do? How do we keep this? We keep it on. We always keep it on the 100.
That's right. That's right. I think we did a good job doing that. Talking all this Kyrie, Kanye West, and all that. Let's see what unfolds between now and then, man. We'll probably have another update in some form, I'm sure.
All right, brother. Take it easy.